Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. Well, tomorrow, Saturday, is the big day. Well, as far as the political scene is concerned in Lagos State, local government, local council elections will be holding. Well, we've had the chairman of LASIEC come on the show and tell us everything that can be done has been done. You know, T's crossed, I's dotted, and so if all goes according to plan, which everybody I imagine expects it will, it's going to be a smooth day tomorrow. Nelson Ekujimi, very well known as a rights activist and election observer, thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's always our pleasure. And in particular today, because I know you're going to be roving tomorrow, observing the election as you do wherever it happens in the country most of the time. Now, Lagos is your resident state, definitely. So I imagine more so than anything else. You reassured by LASIEC's assurances that everything has been done that has been done. I put this question in the context of, on Monday, LASIEC got together all stakeholders to sign a memorandum of understanding, for everybody to be on their best behavior. Does this reassure you that everything is hunky-dory?
Well, thank you very much. I think it is very, very important for us to restate that so far so good. LASIEC has conducted itself in a way that shows that she's very, very prepared for the elections. They put out the notice for the elections. They put out the notice for the submission of candidates and voter view, as well as there was the review of voters register, as well as the display of voters registers. Those are the conditions necessary for an election to take place. And some days to the election, LASIEC has been meeting with the various stakeholders, because we must get one thing very clear. The conduct of a free, fair, and successful election is not only the responsibility of LASIEC alone. There are other stakeholders involved. They are the political party agents, the supporters, the media, the observers, as well as the electorate. Everybody needs to conduct themselves in an atmosphere of orderliness. We must always realize that election is supposed to be a festival of the voters, rather than imbibing or exhibiting character that portrays us as people who have taken election as a do-or-die affair. It should not be so.
Sure thing. There are about a dozen parties that have been cleared for election tomorrow, and so they will be. National Conscience Party still is not going to be participating. They're in court. Their issue, of course, is they disagree with the imposition of administrative fees and all of that. Okay, so many of them, of course, there will be front runners. Before we even know who the front runners are, let's look at the ruling party in Lagos State. There was something of a bother in Mushin, Odiolowo, that whole area. You know, they've been going to court as well. All of these will, do you think this will leave some acrimony that might, affect performances?
Well, you see, I cannot read the mind of everybody. I can only read my mind. But be that as it may, I think it is important for us to admonish ourselves that once people have taken a matter to court, they should have confidence in the system that the judiciary will play their parts. They must not take the law into their hands. We must all be focused on the exercise that we are going to conduct tomorrow. Whether the court gives judgment before the election or after the election, the judgment of the courts is always binding on every party and institution. So we must encourage ourselves to maintain the peace, because there will be life after the election.
Indeed. It's not a do-or-die affair.
It shouldn't be a do-or-die.
As Justice Phillips was saying, look, this is part of the conversation she had with all of the stakeholders, and it's all about service. But then we know how it goes, and we also know the horrible reputation that when you talk about election malpractices, unfortunately, you can't remove Nigeria from that conversation, all over the place. But we continue to do our best, and as the LASIEC chairperson said, everything has been done that needs to be done. I imagine, what do you think? Your guess, having been doing this for a while in different states, looking at Lagos State, security will need to be beefed up in certain areas.
Definitely.
On just looking at the historicity of the whole thing, right?
Definitely. And again, I think it is important for us to encourage ourselves once again, because I come here this morning to speak as a peace builder. I've heard some people say, "Oh, we are not. The result has been written. The election is a mere formality." I beg to disagree with such thoughts. Where we have gotten today, as a people, was because of the resilience of certain people. Elections in this country at a time in the past was such that people who had other intentions than to manifest the mantra of democracy, which is one man, one vote, manipulated elections. But these days, the process has become more reformed, that for you to manipulate the process, a lot of compromises has to take place across board. And it is becoming very, very difficult, because once the election takes place, there's the observer there, there's the party agents, there's the security officials, there's the INEC official or LASEC officials, there's also the electorate themselves. So for you to manipulate elections these days, it means all these stakeholders that I've mentioned will have bought into that manipulation. And that becomes very difficult. That is why we must give a big kudos to ourselves for where we are today with regards to election. That we are getting it right gradually, and I believe it is not yet Uru. There's still more to be done to improve our electoral system.
Indeed. Let's take a wee break at this point to bring in Mr. Ajayi Popoola, who is also, one of our guests on this program. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay, welcome back then. We've been joined by Mr. Popoola Ajayi, a rights activist, election observer as well, and the Executive Director and President of Center for Democracy and Socio-Economic Rights. Thank you very much for coming on, Popoola. I like being able to use Popoola as a first name, since Popoola also works as a surname. Thank you very much for coming on. Now, you're going to be, tomorrow, you're going to be on the field tomorrow. As I was just saying, you were hearing it when you're waiting to come on. Everything seems to be, as it should be. But because of experience, you've been doing this for a while, are there areas that you expect? We've mentioned the fact that security is going to be heightened in some areas much more so than in others. Which areas do you think everybody is going to need to pay attention on and keep their fingers crossed?
Well, basically, I'm a process person. And the thing is to look at the election process. From the umpire, to other stakeholders, security, party, and their members. But the most critical of them all are the party people, the politicians. Themselves. And if the election is going to be successful, it's going to be whether the act or other action and action of the politicians. Because for LASEC, we can say that among all the CX in Nigeria, that LASEC is the most experienced. And in terms of capacity, we can say that their capacity cannot be compared with other state CX. Because
even though there were some complaints about the capacity did not reach
of course. No, we're talking about comparing
with what's on the ground.
With other states in Nigeria, that of course we've witnessed them election conducted by other CX and the ones conducted by LASEC since 2008. And we can boldly say that in terms of their capacity, they have the capacity to conduct free and fair election. But of course, like I said, these other stakeholders are very important here. Due to the desperation of politicians to want to be in position at all costs, just for themselves, not for service. So because of the desperation, you're going to witness a lot of conflict and whatever. In fact, a sister group at TMG, issued a statement yesterday, concerning, militarization in some local governments and, you know, the kind of alluding to some kind of violence or whatever. Then even
but right there, as you know, on Monday, Lasiek, the chairman, all stakeholders, party people, politicians, everybody that you're talking about now being desperados, well, potential desperados, to sign a memorandum of understanding. That would have gone somewhere. Give me your impression.
You see, Nigeria, we are quick to make laws, sign anything that we only obey in reverse.
Oh dear.
So,
so we still need to watch it.
Yes, I don't want us to come here to delude ourselves. To think that the politicians, especially, will behave, you know, reasonably.
Just because they have signed an undertaking
because they have signed
to do so.
To do so, no. So, but again, like my colleague here said the other time, it is responsibility of other stakeholders.
Yeah.
The security agents, for instance, you know, for them to do their duties without citing any parties. Then the party agents and even the party members now should conduct themselves, you know, in you know, a very a good manner that will not alter the process of the election.
Now, right there, thank you very, very much, Popola. Nelson, the point he's making, I understand it, but that's why I was asking the question whether the memorandum of understanding that was signed, whether we can really, you know, lean quite heavily on it. Because things that are going on that we've been reading in the paper, there's still acrimony, they're still in court. It was the very tension that Lasiek had discerned that made it go about this way. But the point is being made that, yeah, but these, how do you sign away a desperation? If a man is desperate, too desperate, how do you sign that away? So that's probably one of the things that the security agents, being professionals, are going to be fully aware of.
Yes.
And as you've been explaining, there's going to be this sort of checkmating of each other. Everybody is going to be there. You know, it's a bit like the executive, legislative. So just everybody watching each other. Don't exceed your power, that kind of a thing. Hopefully, that will do the trick.
Sorry.
Sure.
The memorandum, again, let me just chip in this one. What would be the implication if anybody flouts the MOU? It's like, say, going to take them to court. Are there consequences for it? That we are not.
The Electoral Act.
I think we should get one thing clear. What Lasiek did yesterday on Monday is just what we call moral persuasion.
Yes.
Definitely, we know the laws are very, very clear.
Yes.
About penalties for certain acts.
Electoral offenses.
Yes, and we expect that the authorities will very, very much ensure that whoever runs foul of the law, no matter which party you belong to or however highly placed or lowly placed you are, that you face the music, because it will be a disruption or a violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So maybe, having said as much as that, let's not dwell too much on the security so as not to blow it out of all proportion, and go back to the election, which we expect is going to go well. But there is the matter, people have said that the publicity, they even told the chairman when she was here, the publicity for this election, much as Lasiek says it has done all that it can, there are people who are complaining that all the candidates are not known. It's not all the candidates that are known, and so people are going to be voting for the party, I imagine, not very much for personalities. Is that the way it's going to go?
I'm not too sure. In terms of publicity,
because you know people have a notion that if certain parties bring out anybody, bring out a tortoise,
yes,
they will that tortoise will become the council.
I think Lasiek has done fairly well, because I know for months they've been engaging, interacting with various stakeholders, and it is the responsibility of the parties now to sell their programs and their candidates. And that is what perhaps people are complaining about. I was with somebody yesterday, he said, we're going to vote on Saturday, that he doesn't know the chairman or the councillor,
the candidate of my party.
Candidates. I said, you better, when you get home, you better ask your neighbors you know.
Who the candidate is. And if you don't know who he is, you probably don't know what his antecedent is.
I think, again, to support his position is that it is, at this point in time of our national life, we as the electorate or as the citizens, should even be the ones who should be doing the screening, want to know who the candidates are, rather than waiting for them, because the state we have, we need improvement in our lives. And until we put people who have the right acumen, who have the right sensibility to address our situation, we'll continue to miss it. So even as a Christian, as I'm sitting down here, I don't know all the verses, all the chapters, or the name of the chapters in the Bible. So it behoves on you, like the Bible says, to seek knowledge, to ask people, oh, this candidate, who is he? You know,
to become
talk to ourselves. It's a grassroots election.
Engage, to engage. That's what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
And that also brings us to another aspect of it. The populace, the electorate now, how committed are they to engaging with this level, which is crucially important, as a matter of fact, as you well know. People know more about the presidential election, the state election, senatorial, maybe. But when it comes to this election, people that really need to engage, are you sure that all of them are doing so? One, we've established that not all of them are even aware of the candidates. But that interest to take an active interest in how I will be governed, has that improved over the years, do you think?
Certainly no. Certainly not. Let us face the facts. What will make people develop interest in who governs them is perhaps the program. But unfortunately in Nigeria, local government is supposed to be the government that is closest to the people now. In fact, people ordinarily shouldn't be care about who is in Alausa or Abuja. So far within their locality, you know, they can feel the impact of government. Yeah. And that is the failure of governance generally. It's across the country that local governments have not been able, you know, to play the role they ought to be playing, you know, in terms of service delivery to the people, in terms of galvanizing the people, in terms of, you know, basic developments. Of course, you listen to some of them, they will tell you they want to do free air, they want to do roads, they want to do
provide electricity.
Provide electricity. It shows clearly that even the candidate themselves does not even know what their capacity and even what their roles should be. You know, they are supposed to even be the one, you know, campaigning, educating people about their party programs and manifesto, being executed by the state and the federal government. But here, like I said, they are there just because of Jack, just because of
here we go again. Well, we're going to be voting tomorrow, and the candidates themselves, the way they have emerged as we're having this conversation, the people themselves have had very, very little input. It is the parties that, you know, made sure that these are the people standing as our candidates, and even within the parties there is still some contestation among them as to who the party should be. So we have, people have complained about what they refer to as a lack of internal democracy. The parties have responded that, don't know what that means, because what are you talking about? What lack of internal democracy? Is a party going to just lean back and let anybody just go in there? We have our ideas, we have our philosophies. Surely one can understand that side of the argument, but the democracy side of it, it looks like two incompatibles coming together. That's leading to ever persistent cries of a lack of internal democracy. APC, for one, has accused its own party of that.
Yes, it's a fact that, you know, one of the ills bedeviling our democracy as of today is the lack of internal democracy among the parties across board. But be that as it may, you talked about the candidates. I was privileged to be at a debate for candidate contesting for this local government, you know, and you'll be surprised that you have candidates contesting for chairmanship, for councillorship, who don't understand what it means to when you say, please give me your biodata. And he's asking, he or she is asking, what do you mean by that? So the quality
of personnel
is a reflection of even also the electorate, because we must accept the fact that this is a collective failure. A lot of people who have the wherewithal, who know, like somebody like me sitting down right here opposite you, I'm interested, but the monetization of the system, the various interests,
going to be a major barrier.
Is a big barrier for me. So I said, okay.
Because wait a minute, but for this local government election, talking entirely not about the candidates as they exist, but as you said, you are interested, as many thousands of people must be, but the finances prevent candidates like that from getting any sort of traction. Now we hear horrendous figures when it comes to the, of course, presidential, state governor, but for the local government, one party is in court because of 100,000 naira. I was thinking that the thing is, how expensive would it be theoretically now if I wanted to vie for the chairmanship or even councillorship of any of the councils?
Let's just talk, the internal democracy thing and...
yeah, okay, let me get an answer to that so I'll come back to the internal democracy. What are the estimates being bandied about without any evidence? But
for you to become either a councillor or a chairman, you are talking in terms of millions. Because, there are so many hurdles for you to cross. Even the electorate themselves, when you go out,
even those that should be on your side.
That should be on your side.
You will still be saying, where's your manifesto?
Yes, and you know what their manifesto,
and you know what their manifesto
means. So, it's a very tall order. But I believe as we continuously engage and make the people understand that, look, the reason why you are voting, because one thing we must admit is that the voter education in this part of the world is very, very low. A lot of our people don't even understand why they are voting. That the reason why you are voting is because you want to put somebody there who will determine your economic, political, and social destiny.
Yeah, but
for
the kind of
certain
but those very people that are determining our economic and social destiny, you've said, in one or two cases, you might have a situation. What does biodata mean? So how much of my affairs can that? Now, it brings us to the point of why do people of, I don't mean any disrespect to the existing teams of candidates, why do people of substance, so to speak, not come forward? Because there are many of them that are not even interested at even state level, but are very active on the community level, and that have money. But still, you don't see that the quality you expect at a level you'd want it.
You see,
not saying that everybody in there is an illiterate.
Yes, of course, they are not. It all starts from the process. You may call it any name, whether internal democracy or whatever. If you know that if you are a member of a party, for instance, you have programs, and you can sell your program to the people or to party members who will eventually go and elect you as a primary, and you will win.
And the results will actually reflect how the votes were cast.
Yes, without any structure or superstructure, impeding your success. You see reasonable people, genuine people who come on board. Okay. And that is why, you see, Nigeria, we're very lucky. We all signed up for a change, during the last election. And our democracy certainly has moved beyond what it was in 1999. And the process is getting what you call contestation within the parties and, protests. It's all part of what will make our...
The flux. The flux of change.
Yes. Because people, you say, no, I don't agree, I disagree with you. So in the final analysis, the whole process will come out better.
Okay. Because but we have to keep at it.
Yes,
even though you're making it sound like the expression I hear sometimes that, look, it might get worse before it gets better.
Yes, because if we are saying, in fact, what we observe, even the APC primaries too, I will blame the committee now, saddled with the responsibility of conducting the primaries. In fact, they should be blamed. If they had done what they ought to have done, You know, of course, the party has been doing primaries, getting their candidates over the years. It's not difficult to do primaries. So they should blame them.
Okay.
They should blame them for not, you know, allowing, you know, or maybe their strategy was wrong anyway.
Well, even those ones, they're going to be subject to the authority of the party, you know, orders from above. There are, you know how it goes.
No.
I mean, I'm talking about being pragmatic
yes,
now, for now.
Yes, if you are
Because when you're talking
if you are
about
saddled with a responsibility,
yes,
and you put up a process that will convince even the party leaders, you know, that will convince them that, okay, this is how we want to go about it.
Sure.
You know, a clear process that is known to everybody.
Yes.
In fact, no, there won't be problem.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Joshua is calling in from Niger State. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Good morning to the guests.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
I just want to contribute this way.
Sure.
Until we develop and try to refine our political process, you'll discover we are not going to go anywhere in this very nation. You'll discover that what we have been facing since 1999 to date, that is what we will still continue to face. The monetization of our political process is not going to really help us. You'll discover that since you have been interviewing people and maybe all the Lagos election has been on board, you'll discover that people have just been protesting just because of what they want to gain. It's not that they just want to come there to serve anybody. I get it. Until we sanitize, you discover that is when we are going to make headway in this very nation. Thank you and God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. Same to you. Exactly. This is a known fact of Nigerian politics.
Very instructive.
Everywhere, up and down the land.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether it's senatorial. I'm sorry.
You see, my take home from the last caller is that the over-monetization of our democracy is the bane that we're back. Because a lot of even some of the people who are protesting today, if the money involved, what you get when you get there is nothing to write to me about, they will sit down in their home and face their business.
Exactly. If they knew that, look, you
are going there,
you're not going to be sitting right through. You know, it's on a part-time basis, and definitely you're going to put your resources into it, and you're not going to get anything out of the system. This is the way it works. It's about service.
Yes.
The place will suddenly become a deserted town.
A virgin.
That's why, you know, on another platform, I've canvassed for demystification of political office, whereby the idea is that, you know, like you rightly said, if you know that what you're going to earn, you know, occupying those offices, there's nothing compared with what you earn.
Yes.
But unfortunately today we have some people, they have no other means of livelihood.
Apart from
they will say
patronage.
they will call themselves politicians.
Professional politicians.
And
don't forget, a former governor said we should have a chartered institute of politicians.
So how can you say?
Mr. Yakub, thank you very much for calling in. Good morning. So you now have a chartered politician if you're not careful. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to two wise men in the studio.
Good morning.
Thank you.
That caller make 1 point out of 100. Which I agree with him. And then to buttress that point, another question is this, Theory. How which you witness the primary of this political party? Theory, in fact, you know that it's nothing that to take home, because you go to primary and then you begin to see cutlass, you begin to see guns. Is it not because they want to serve the masses? I think it's because of the enough money that is political system. The gentleman is the studio, I've already said it. With people that occupy a political offices, they are taking home like civil servant 18,000 naira. I bet you nobody will dare to go there. Another thing I want to bring on is this. This is a state whereby we can take independent candidates. If they can be able to enact that law. You know we that in a rural area, in all these rural areas, we know the people that want to vote for as a councillor. And especially that person that will not in our locality go to a primary of the political party, but getting there, they don't even allow that primary to hold on. And then the person can go as an independent candidate. The person will defeat that person that in the primary, kangaroo primary. So that you should be listening to the political party that if you want to organize a primary, you should be free and fair for all the party members.
Okay.
See,
Yakub, you're talking across board of the political parties, right?
I'm telling you, it's the truth. Yes, that is the truth. But if they can be able to bring a law here, as a person, I say Yakubu is Opemu, people know me in this area. I know that if I go contest an election, the independent candidate, I will win anybody. But I cannot go to primary a political party where I will still gone and I don't want to die.
Okay.
God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling in. And that point has been made.
Observation.
This primary.
He was calling you a chief. I wouldn't know when you got that.
Now, the point was made, I think, by even Justice Phillips, that when I was saying that, what were those, because they spoke about tension, he says, well, as has been said, when these kind of observations are made, you know, offensive instruments, offensive equipment,
offensive
environment, just a primary, a family affair.
Yes.
And, you know, guns are allegedly seen.
And people are beaten up.
Yeah, so that kind of a thing. Money is also deployed as a weapon. For the moment, it looks like we're still within the throes of how things used to be, even as you guys said that it's a lot better than it was when we started off.
Yes.
But it still isn't anywhere near
where we
yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Adegboyega in Alagbado, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me quickly say this, please. A lot of people doesn't have faces. At the same time, they didn't have a good pocket. But in some instances, I think some people benefit from party influence. You don't have a name, you should have a party. And we have some parties that are paid, as in they paid their dues. Definitely, even if their candidates are not people well known, they will definitely get votes from the people. So I think the best thing for the people without faces or without a known party to do is good information, which they lack doing. At the end of the day, they will now start blaming a particular body that is last year's rigged election, the social person that rigged election. I just want to tell them, whenever they are contesting like this, they should go back to their grassroots, do their math very well, reschedule their programs, and do the right thing at the right time. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Adegboyega, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you going to be voting tomorrow?
Definitely, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's good. And is that the impression you get? Most of your friends, associates, you know a lot of people that will be voting tomorrow, right?
Very good, yes, yes.
All right, then. Because this matter of attendance is another thing. It's not been very good considering the total number of available votes, as was observed by the chairman. And she was saying that she hopes that with all the work that has been done, people will be encouraged and they should come out. That matter of attendance, what do you guys predict from your experience and also living here?
Well, from experience of what transpires at elections at this level, because of the fact that a lot of us, our focus is always on, who becomes the governor?
Yeah.
Who becomes the president?
Yeah.
Neglecting the fact that the local government is as important. The local government chairman or councillor is as important as who becomes the president of Nigeria, because you'll be in charge of the public treasury.
People don't see
that. So it behoves on us. Like I said earlier on, where we are today is because of some people's faith that, look, things cannot but must get better.
Does that mean you're saying that you wouldn't be surprised if the attendance was not maximum?
I won't be surprised. In normal climes, the average attendance for election is also about 40 to 50%. Rarely do you get 60% of the registered voters. But what we have been doing over the days preceding this election, and even the media interventions, it has been to enlighten the people. And we only hope, like they say, you can only take a horse to the river. Yeah. We can only encourage them that please go out, exercise your franchise. Okay. It's because of you and not because of me.
Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sir Yuri. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Sir Yuri, sir, my own is an appeal to Nigerians in Lagos.
Yes.
Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, come out and go for candidates of their choice and should be from the bottom of their heart. And the government should try as much as possible to avoid this ballot box matters. They should stay away from Lagos.
Okay.
The security agencies should be more proactive in their duties as regards to all these area boys and girls around the environment. Because all these area boys, they compare to, and the youth have to warn the youth again. The youth have to be very careful. If someone has promised to give you an appointment as special assistant, you ask yourself, are you the special assistant, you think your own portion? That is why the youth don't allow anybody to use to go and disrupt the election, because you are the person that will suffer. Because this election, thank God for Lagos State, this is the third tier of the government, the primary, that's the local government, where the Nigerians or the people that stay in the urban areas need the services of the government. Where they go there and try the election because they're using the youth for one promise or another, it will be very well. So I pray, by the grace of God, it will be a free, fair, transparent election in Lagos tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okoro, for very well said. You know, and also, especially, he's speaking to the youth that, look, guys, you just put on your thinking cap. Don't just be led by the nose. Hopefully, they are listening.
They won't hear. The truth of the matter is this. But I do ask question. If you fight, maim, kill people, or you are killed in the process of supporting a candidate, and come to think of it, how much is the earning of a councillor?
Yeah.
That wants anybody's life? I can understand.
Well,
then what? Some of these candidates, some of them that are well-to-do, their children are not even in Nigeria.
So these are things that people need to
then
think
you now
about as we're
yourself.
going into the election.
No, I think we should emphasize the sanctity of human lives, the sanctity of human relationships.
Yes. Now, it's excellent that you guys are talking this way, because I'm sure the police, through their own research, also are fully aware of these sentiments that you're expressing. Definitely. And would have been deployed appropriately, because, as you said, if they won't hear, then the police will be there. Say you won't hear. That is, it is for those of you that you won't hear.
I also have a panacea.
That we're also here.
I also have a panacea.
Can you hold it, please, sir? Let me just bring in Ayo in Surulere, and then hold the thought. I'll come straight back to you. Good morning, Ayo in Surulere.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Unfortunately, Nigeria has gone to the pigs, not even to the dogs.
Well, cut us some slack.
Now, it's so
cut us some slack.
Educated people are voting for illiterates to run the affairs of local government. It's extremely subtle.
Well, Ayo, you're sounding very angry. Ayo, you're sounding very angry, and as if you're not even a Nigerian. You can't say Nigeria has gone to the dogs.
On top of cars, they were extremely rough, breaking rules and all that. And those people that were going to queue and vote for, nothing will ever change in this Nigeria. It's so unfortunate. It's so sad and very painful.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ayo.
I would not vote, because I still I vote. I don't vote. It doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
I'm not even in a position to change anything.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Ayo. Although Ayo was very angry, as he called in, because it can only be because you're very angry that you cut Nigeria so little slack. After all, Ayo is a Nigerian.
Yeah.
And, but you see, the system does that to you, unfortunately, so that people can lose it sometimes.
Yes.
Because the anger,
yes.
he said Nigeria has gone to the, well, he said to the pigs, but he said he was looking for something worse than going to the dogs. We just have to be patient, although not everybody has the same level of patience. And certainly we can't come on air and be bad-mouthing our motherland. Let it be said.
Yes.
Because I'm sure I was a patriot as well.
Yes, I agree.
He was angry.
Yes. I was trying to give a panacea earlier on.
Reverend Dominic Alimasho has come in. Yeah. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Yori.
Yeah.
Good morning to your guest this morning.
Sure.
Good morning.
Reverend.
Let me not support the last caller, but the frustration is on the neck. Most of us who are patriotic at times get frustrated about the system. You're pleased with your guest. Pardon my ignorance. Could you mention the three functions of the local government, the function of the local government? Relating where I live here, I consult a road that leads to the estate where I live. I am the local government chairman in my house. I have a borehole I maintain. I pay for security every month, which I connected in this area I live in, Alimosho. Tell me the function. For over 6 months, Yori, I don't have light here. I had a Ikeja came to carry our transformer. For 6 months, for 1 year, there's no light. I run the generator every day and all that. What is the function of the local government, chairman or the local government itself? That aside, the best of our best intellectuals cannot contest for local government.
Okay.
As a part of it, you must know, I was a chieftain of Fresh. We do it in local level. If you see the way they tell you, if you bring intellectual argument, they will send talks to you, they will send agro to you. And me as a pastor, my wife cried one day. Why should, because you want to be president of the people, and you put us into this risk that we as a family member cannot work out freely because we want to contest election. So most of us withdraw. And again, tomorrow, police have said they're going to release 30,000 police. In local government elections, 30,000 police. Who are we fighting?
But Dominic, tell me something. Do you know your chairman at least? Hopefully you do.
Honestly, God put on the path. I don't know a councillor. I don't know a chairman. Yesterday, I saw them. I was going to a bank to transact business. They blocked the road. Last week on the road. They blocked the road. So I was asking myself, I wanted to come out and ask the man who's campaigning, you want to maintain order. Why are you going chaos? They blocked the whole entire front of the road, dancing and drumming. Now you're looking at me, chairman.
Yeah.
You're not getting to power. But you're creating a chaos in the system. How could you lead a people like that?
Oh.
I don't know, honestly. Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much for calling in, Dominic. Really appreciate your call. That's another angry Nigerian. But at least, as Reverend Dominic said, not going to throw the line of the last caller. Yes. But he understands where he's coming from. Yes. Now, a man as enlightened as Reverend Dominic says, I kid you not, I don't know who the chairman is.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a sad development.
It's a sad development because, yeah, on the one hand, he should be interested, Dominic or anybody should be interested. But on the other hand, there are information, when it is done properly, dissemination of it, it comes and meets you where you are. You don't even, without looking for it, you come to here.
Yes.
Because that which concerns our people, let anything happen now. You'll be surprised that every market woman has heard about it.
Yes. So, like I wanted to give that panacea.
Now Chidi is the person.
Okay.
It's Chidi in Kaduna. Good morning, Chidi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and how is Lagos this morning?
Thank you very much for calling, sir. Lagos is very, very well.
Good morning to Ekujimi and the other guests.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Ajayi.
Yes, I want to join my voice with those who have spoken in favor of the elections, local government elections coming up in Lagos, God willing, by tomorrow. That is extending the democracy dividends to the locals. My prayers and my wish is that let this election come and go in an atmosphere of peace. Let it as well bring in candidates that will work in synergy with the governor, Akin Bode, who has been doing very well since he took over, so that Lagos will be a model state as a cosmopolitan state in this very country that will house every Nigerian, irrespective of political or religious leanings. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Chidi. So beautifully put, and that's what we're going to be working with. That's what LASIEC and all the stakeholders have been working towards all this time, including you gentlemen, because you'll now be going around tomorrow observing all the work that has been done, with the result of it. And since everybody has been working, so assiduously on this, we expect that it will go well. But we're noting these points. These are not anything that can be done between today and tomorrow's election. But the evolution of the process such that people of competence, shall we say, of better competence than we have seen in the past, although one is not throwing a blanket over that as well, begin to emerge routinely.
Yes.
Routinely. Another Nelson. When they said that Nelson is that now Nelson must talk. So we've plugged the phone so Nelson can talk.
Yes, the panacea I wanted to give was that we were observers at the last Osun West senatorial election. And a day or two before the election, when we were admonishing people to keep the peace, I was asked what would be my suggestion or way forward to maintain peace. And, the Spirit spoke to me, and I went spiritual. I admonish people to pray so that those people who are planning to perpetrate evil, that God will arrest them with sleep, such that they will only wake up after the whole process must have been concluded. So I'm also sending that message out to Lagosians this morning.
Because I was going to be worried that, Nelson, are you sure that religion and politics mix very, very well?
There's no correlation between the two.
Emeka in Mushi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yuri.
Thank you very much for calling in.
God bless you. I will not be voting tomorrow.
Why?
I have this motion. There has never been any election where I don't go out there, stand up, stay in the sun and vote. But I have never seen any result. Nothing to show, including our inroads that is supposed to be the job of the local government. Nothing. They don't do any other thing than buy cars, buy houses. Then in the next 4 years, you ask us to come out and vote for you again. It doesn't work that way. It will never work that way again. It will better. I thank God that Lagos State said nobody, we shouldn't go out. So I will be sleeping. I will rest. Enough of all this.
Emeka, you've lost faith. You've lost faith in the system such as it is now, right? You've lost faith in the system such as it is now.
Well, I think
I think that is the bottom.
The truth of the matter is that you know, I do say that you know, Nigerians have gone beyond the level of hopelessness and getting to the level of desperation because of frustration, and that is why you hear comments like this. You know, the panacea of nursing will not work if you don't respect the process, our process. If we say this is the rule for the election, let us follow it. We will continue to encourage people to play by the rule. So we continue to encourage people. If LASEC has a law and guideline, let us follow it. If political parties has guidelines and constitution, let us follow it.
But we know
so
that,
it is when we are all clear about the process and that we will be confident that, okay, my interest will not be jeopardized if I come out to vie for election. So that is the way out. Let us continue to strengthen our system.
I hear you, but part of the problem... I know, sir. I know, sir, but part of the problem, which I'm sure you're aware of much better than me, is that the political system is such that not every card-carrying member is a financial member of the party and has contributed, you know, significantly to the development of the party. Therefore,
Babangida started it all.
Okay, let me just, I must, hold the thought, you can express it, but let me bring in Mr. Sodiq in Ikotun. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be on the program today.
We're happy to have you.
I'm one of your diehard fans.
So kind of you.
I quickly want to clear something on the hair. I was one of the aspirants during this last primary election in my area. I would want to be specific. Yeah, you see, most important thing is aspirants must understand their political party, understand their practices, their systems and all that. So if you are just joining the party and you don't understand the way things are being done in the party, that is when you complain when something happens. For some of us that have been in the party for a very long time, that are grandchildren of our national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we know how it is being done in the party. So the way things are being done, we take it comes because we know that it is how it is being done. So aside of that, somebody called and said they don't know. So some people have been saying that they don't know their candidates.
Yes.
That is a surprise because posters are being pasted here and there. So for this, I want to believe that they should have been able to see the candidates of the party, and also for them to know the candidates of the party. That's why they are doing rallies here and there, so that you'll be able to see them. And okay, this is the person I do see on the poster.
Yeah.
You understand? So it is normal for candidates to go around with the party loyalists and the party leaders for rally. That is part of the electionary campaign.
Indeed.
So for me, our party has always been there. Almost all the aspirants that comes out for the primary are people that are that are credible. So any one of us that is being asked to come and do the job, we will all believe that such person can deliver. So we'll always try as much as possible to support such person. So once we believe that our leaders have done the right thing and we are going to support them, and we are working for ourselves, so even those ones that are privileged to be the flag bearers of the party, all the remaining members of the party, the aspirants, we are ready to support, and we have even been supporting.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Sadiq. Really appreciate your calling in and, you know, adding this clarification. We'll leave it as it is, that, look, if you're a long-standing member of his party, for example, well, he even said in the case of his party, he said, well, the complaints you hear are from new guys that don't quite understand the ideology of the party and the methodology of the party. Now, we're talking, is the ruling party, put that to one side because it is just one of the 12 parties that, you know, will be vying for the votes tomorrow. Front runners, you always have them in any election. But 12 of those parties, quite frankly, not everybody, if people are complaining that they don't even know who the chairman is, there might be even less that know some of the more, shall we say, maybe not as well endowed party. And Mr. Sadiq that called in there, commenting on those who had said that they don't even know who the candidates are. I'm sure Mr. Sadiq might have, you know, he hasn't forgotten that not as much money is blown on this as, for instance, a governorship election, where I was talking about information coming to meet you in your own hole. But he was putting the responsibility, the onus on the electorate. Say, look, make a little effort. Go find out, and it's available for you to find out. And that's part of the problem.
You see, one thing we have to encourage our people is that as human beings, they must always seek for information. Like I teach in a school, and one thing I tell my students is that education is not only about reading your books. It's about going on the road and seeing a poster or seeing a billboard and stopping to read, to get informed. If you wait until information comes to you, you will get little or no information. But you as a human being, in order to keep abreast, you must always seek.
So it means you've got to,
you must be on your toes, yes.
We completely run out of time.
The idea is this.
5 seconds.
No, yes, the idea is this, that we must be interested in those who govern us. That we must be interested in those who are coming out.
Yes.
If the populace show little interest, then the parties will not even throw up wrong-headed candidates. So that, and no matter how brilliant a governor is, no matter how good a governor is, if you have wrong-headed people at the local government level, if you just be working there, that will be impact. His performance will not impact on the people directly.
Okay, we've completely run out of time, but thank you very, very much. You know, rights activist, Mr. Popola Ajayi, and election observer, as indeed we also extend the same to Comrade Nelson Ekunjimi.
Thank you very much.
Election observer.
Thank you.
So we're all geared, and we just, you know, are waiting for tomorrow, and we hope it'll go well. Well, that's our program for the day and the week. And a bit of information here concerning the program this morning on TVC. I think this is the last day that you'll be seeing the program on TVC Entertainment. That's the terrestrial arm, your TV set that doesn't need any decoder. The program will continue on, you know, the satellite arm on channel 418. So it's the program this morning on TVC is moving over to the satellite side of the business. So you won't be seeing it on your regular land TV, if I can call it that. But if you have a decoder, you'll still be able to catch us on channel 418. That's from Monday. So I'll see you then on channel 418 TM on TVC on Monday, God willing. I'm Yori Folani. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.